Hey, honey, just listen to me for a second.
What is it? Do we really need to talk right now? Or can it wait until tomorrow? I'm about to board my flight.
Flora only got a 70 on the test again.
70 points? I don't think that's such a bad score. Let's not worry about something that's not even worth worrying about.
It's actually a pretty bad score. Clara got a perfect score on the same test. How can that be? They're twins, so how can they be so different? Flora should have scored just as well as Clara.
There you go again. It's always the same thing with you. You only care about Clara. Remember, it's not like Flora isn't even trying.
Well, even though she's trying, that must be about the best she's able to do. Clara always does well at everything without any struggle. She's always been way ahead of Flora since they were born, especially since they started to walk and talk. So, what's wrong with loving her more?
Remember, good grades aren't the only important thing in life. After all, how about your grades? Why don't we talk about the grades you got in school, and what getting those scores did to your life? Clara is better at academics, and Flora is better at sports. And it's our job as parents to bring out the best in each of them. Not to give our very best to whichever daughter we think is doing better at the moment, and give only thoughtless leftovers to the other.
My oh my. Even though Flora is obviously very good at sports right now, that won't be any real help to her in the future. I wonder how they can be so different from each other even though they are actually twins.
Come on, even twins are different people. They each have their own mind, and they're each living their own lives. So it's not like their entire lives can never be identical, even though they were born one right after the other.
Well, that's why I'm more fond of the one who always excels over the other.
That's overstepping the line. Just listen to yourself.
I have an idea. I'm thinking of sending Clara to a famous private high school in Manhattan.
Why would you want to send her that far away? Isn't that a bit too much to ask of her? Round trip, that'd be 6 hours on the train every school day.
Yes, that would be too many hours on the train. Not to mention the cost. And that's why I've decided to move to Manhattan with her.
What? But what about your job? It's not remote, and they already told you no once when you asked before.
All right, I don't. But that's no problem. I've already submitted my resignation.
What's going on here? Stop. Just stop everything until you come to your senses again. If that's even possible for you. You can't just quit your job without even having another job lined up yet.
I'm already looking for an apartment in Manhattan.
That's not what I asked. But that makes things even more ridiculous. Do you have any clue what the rent in New York City is? No matter what ideas you have on whatever plans you've cooked up, you're being way too hasty. None of what you're saying right now is even slightly sensible. Private high schools like that have an admissions process. They all do. Every single one of them. She hasn't even been accepted by any school like that yet.
Well, the way Clara always gets the highest score on everything without even trying, I'm sure she'll be able to get into any of the very best high schools anywhere with no trouble at all. Of course, you'll have to pay for her school tuition. My retirement and savings will pay for our apartment and for our day-to-day expenses of our living over there.
What about Clara? How does she feel about all this herself? I'll check up about all of this with her later. But did you ask her how she feels about applying to a high school in Manhattan?
Yes, of course I asked her before I started working on any of this. She said she would like to go to a school like that if she can, because the classes will be more helpful in her preparation for what she actually wants to do with her life in the future.
Okay. Well, I guess so, if that's what Clara said.
Great. It's settled. Oh, and I shouldn't even need to say this, but Flora can just go to the local high school. She doesn't even have to go for all I care.
I think it's crazy you're playing favorites like this. Think about what's going to happen to Flora emotionally. If one goes to a nice high school, I want the other to as well.
No, she's gonna go to the crappy one down the road. Westview High School is basically a high school for idiots. I think it ranks lowest in the country and everything.
And you care that little about your daughter's future. You think it's okay to send her there?
Of course I do. Her grades stink, so I don't want to waste our money on a dance.
Flora has been actually thinking about going to a private high school in the next town over. She could easily get a special sports admission to the school for track and field.
Yeah, maybe she could, but we're going to have to reject that whole idea before it even gets started.
Why shouldn't she go to that school? This school is special in that they waive fees if you're an outstanding athlete. It's almost like a scholarship.
Yeah, but tuition isn't the only cost. If it's the next town over, it'll cost a lot for her to go there.
Well, it would only be about $100 a month. That's not so much.
That $100 is $1,200 every single year. That's way too much money to spend on a girl like her. I'm gonna have to send that failure all the way through high school. So this level of compromise is normal, even necessary.
Let Flora decide her own path for high school and for her future.
Why would I do that?
Whether she goes to a public or private school, no matter what the cost of transportation might turn out to be, Flora needs to be able to make her own choices with her own ideas about her life.
All I hear is, let's flush our money down the toilet.
I can't fathom it all while you can justify giving special treatment to one of our daughters, but not the other. I never have any idea of prioritizing either one of them over the other.
Oh, really? Is that so? Apparently, you and I just have different fundamental values. Honestly, I've reached my limit. Let's just end things here. I want a divorce.
Are you serious?
Of course. I'll take Clara with me. She's acceptable to me. You, on the other hand, you at least should have loved the inferior child. I don't want her, so I'll gladly just give her to you.
This conversation has been absolutely ludicrous. Before we decide anything that's been said, I think we need to sit down and work things out in person.
Nah, I'm good. I've made up my mind, and that's final. We will move to Manhattan as soon as Clara and Flora finish middle school. So let's make sure our divorce is final before then.
What are you even talking about? Are you serious? Or is this all some kind of sick joke?
Of course I'm serious. I'm just not a person who wastes time making jokes. I don't have the patience for any kind of humor at all, I'm afraid.
Can you make a promise to me right now that you will think about Clara's future properly and responsibly?
Yes, of course.
Really? Honestly?
Don't worry about Clara. You have enough on your plate with a rejected child. Oh, and by the way, make sure you pay for Clara's child support.
Well, we need to try to talk about all of this more sensibly after I get back from my business trip.
Okay.
Dad, are you there?
Hey, honey. What are you doing up so late?
I'm sorry, Dad.
Sorry for what?
She told me all of this is because I'm not as smart as Clara.
What are you talking about? No, that's not what any of this is about. Sure, Clara gets excellent grades, but I always tell you that being smart isn't everything in this life. That's what Clara told me too. School doesn't last forever. Many of the world's most influential people never even finish school. Our talking about divorce is just because our values are too different from each other. I'm very sorry that you and Clara, our daughters, are being drawn into this trouble. None of this is the fault of either of you. So I feel badly that this trouble is now affecting the two of you. You and your sister are getting along so well with each other, while acknowledging each other's differences. So much better than Mom and I have been doing lately. I wish we could follow the fine example you and your sister give to us. Unfortunately, your mother and I have come to the point where we don't see eye to eye anymore.
Is it true that Clara wants to go to a private school in Manhattan? And it was you who told Mom not to turn down my offer of a sports scholarship. But the fact that our plans are the cause of your divorce. That's really sad.
No, that's not it. You don't need to think of it that way, because that's just not the way it actually is at all. I will provide financial support to Clara as well, and you and Clara will always be our children. You can continue making any choices you feel are necessary and the best for your future. I will do whatever I need to do as your father, and I will always love and support you both forever.
Thank you, Dad. That means a lot. I feel a little better now.
Well, it's been a long time. Hey, this is Sandra. I need to talk with you about our daughter. Can you please reply?
What do you want?
Oh, hello to you too. At least you haven't blocked my text, even though you don't keep in touch very often, while our daughters keep growing up as the years go by. The ability to keep in touch is necessary, whether we actually want to or not. Even though we're divorced, Clara and Flora are still our daughters. We need a way to contact each other easily and immediately at any time in case of an emergency.
So, what's going on now? You haven't even told me yet. Why are you contacting me right now?
Well, you know Clara and Flora. They are both now seniors in high school, and they are about to graduate, right?
Yes, they are.
But Clara probably won't be able to graduate this year.
Clara? Wait, what did you say just now? You seriously can't be telling me that Clara is going to have to take her senior year of high school all over again.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
How is that even possible? What could have happened to her?
Well, she just stopped going to school altogether at the end of her junior year.
That was almost a year ago, though. Why are you only telling me this now?
She was having a very difficult time just keeping up with her studies. She was so shocked that she got a score just fairly short of failing that she stopped going to school all at once from the very next day.
Why didn't you talk with me about this earlier? All of a sudden, she had so much difficulty with her studies and a poor test grade that she dropped out of school and you didn't even tell me. And what about the tuition I've been sending every month? She dropped out of school a year ago and I keep sending you tuition money? What have you been doing with that money for the last year while she hasn't even been going to school?
Well, I haven't told you about it before now, just because it's sort of embarrassing.
Embarrassing?
Yes, embarrassing. Because I thought she would always continue being excellent at everything. So I gave her all of my undivided attention. But the end result is turning into a real disaster. But if I'm understanding correctly, what I'm hearing from Flora, it sounds like she's on the verge of falling out of school too.
What are you talking about?
So it seems that after all, in the end, both of our twin daughters are actually adding to total failure. Isn't that right?
Flora had to change her status to being a regular student because of a broken leg.
She broke her leg?
She broke her leg during a soccer game. The doctor told her that even if she eventually makes a full recovery, it will be very difficult for her to continue as an athlete. I'm very sure that I asked her to give you a message about this right when this first happened.
Yeah. Well, that explains why I've never heard anything at all about any of this until just right now, at this very moment. Well, if being good at sports was still the only thing she had going for her, then not only is she a failure, but her very existence itself has lost its only meaning.
How could you say something so cruel?
So, what's happened since then? She's probably just gone further and further astray, or something like that. I'm quite sure she can't actually be doing anything worthwhile now.
No, that's not at all the way it is. No, Flora, she's been accepted to medical school.
What? Medical school?
Yes, she's been accepted to medical school.
No, but that's not possible. Now I know you must surely be joking. You know, there's obviously just no way that a failure could ever do well enough academically to get into any medical school, not even a bottom tier one, if there even is such a thing as a bottom level medical school.
Well, I guess the mental strength she's cultivated through her perseverance in sports has come in handy for helping her lift her grades little by little, one day at a time.
Mental strength? What mental strength?
Well, when she was told that it would be difficult for her to ever do well at soccer again, she was indeed very depressed, of course. But the doctor who treated her leg at the hospital encouraged her greatly. So she became quite determined to do absolutely whatever necessary to eventually become a doctor herself, just like him. The way her grades have improved since she changed to a regular status student has simply been amazing.
So all of this you're telling me, is it all actually true then?
I have absolutely nothing to gain from a lie that could be easily disproved if not true.
Oh, I see. Then give me Flora.
What? What do you mean, give me?
It's just what I've always said. I only want a daughter who's good enough to excel, so give me Flora. And I don't want that dropout Clara anymore, so I'll just give her to you.
You're still crazy to talk like that.
Crazy talk? What do you mean? What I'm saying should make perfect sense.
You're talking about my children, whom you gave birth to in your own belly with much pain, as if they're just objects.
She's my baby, so I want to raise her in the way I want her to grow up.
I can't keep talking with you while you're talking like this. I'll take Clara back, but I won't give you Flora. I won't ever. Aren't you being a little too greedy?
You felt good about having that talented Flora with you for the last 3 years, so it's my turn next. They'll graduate from high school in a month, and we should trade Flora and Clara at the same time.
No, you can't have Flora. That will never work, no matter what.
Oh, it won't? And why not?
Because the medical school Flora is going to is in Boston. That's why not. And even if it weren't, Flora would never come live with you in Manhattan anyhow.
Oh no.
Nope. That's why I'm done listening to your nonsense crazy talk. Bye.
Hey, please answer. I'm in big trouble. Real trouble this time.
Okay, what is it?
Clara is gone. I went out for a while, and when I came back, all of Clara's things were gone. Her room was completely empty all of a sudden, just like that.
Flora went to pick up Clara.
What? What do you mean?
Clara told me all about you. About how you haven't worked at all since you moved to Manhattan. About how you had been living on your savings and pocketing child support. When you were about to run out of money, you made Clara start a part-time job. The reason she got bad grades is because she had no time to study since you were forcing her to work for you. You were so lazy that you were willing to risk our daughter's education just so you didn't have to lift a finger. Then when she stopped going to school, you didn't even tell me. And you've been living on the tuition money I've been sending for a year now. Tuition money for a school she hasn't even been going to.
Oh, I see. You heard the news.
So, Flora went to rescue Clara to get her away from you as soon as possible. They're going to live together in Boston and study hard together. By the way, I'm not in Boston, but I've already moved to a place near there for a promotional transfer with my company.
What? No way. None of that can be true.
Of course, I won't give you our address. You've taken too much advantage of our daughters and myself for far too long already.
But what about me?
What? Ha! Now you're actually asking me what about you? You'll just have to get a real job on your own for a change. And work to earn your own living without living on tuition money from me for a school that Clara's not even attending. That's about you.
Wait.
Goodbye.
Wait, hold on just a second, please.
After that, Sandra went back to her parents' home in her hometown. Her parents were no longer there because they'd already moved into a nursing home with the money from selling their home. The home was being occupied by someone who didn't know Sandra. Sandra became irate, demanding to know where her parents were. The new house owner had no idea and had to call the police to take Sandra away because she wouldn't leave and wouldn't stop screaming. Sandra couldn't even stand her own hometown because there were so many rumors about her there, so she left to go live somewhere else. Meanwhile, Clara was rescued by Flora, and she transferred to a part-time school in Boston. Clara plans to go to a technical school after graduating from high school because she wants to work in the IT field in the future. Even though my daughters have been pushed around too much and too long by their mother and been mistreated, I'm very happy that they are now growing up straight and strong, and I will continue to give them all the love I can as their father.